Yeah, he looks very unwell. A weak and sickly Donald Trump just returned to Washington, D.C., where he just held a disastrous press conference outside of the White House. He was cognitively glitching. He couldn't understand the questions that were being asked, and he would just say, "Can't understand. Can't understand." And then when he finally heard the question, he basically said that Russia's invasion of Poland with drones could have been a mistake. Let me show you what went down. But just to remind you, earlier in the day, Donald Trump attended the 9/11 ceremony at the Pentagon, where we saw Donald Trump's face like completely drooping. Now, I'm not a medical expert, but there are a lot of medical experts out there speculating about what this could be. I've previously done videos where I've showed you medical experts speculating that could Donald Trump have been suffering from mini strokes or strokes. But if you take a look at this image right here, how to spot stroke symptoms fast, and you take a look at the way Donald Trump presented today, I think you'll see some correlation there. Also, we know from prior videos we've done that Donald Trump struggles to walk in a straight line. Just by one example, when Donald Trump had our military get on their knees and roll out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin, when Donald Trump was greeting Putin, he zigzagged and cannot walk in a straight line. We also know that Donald Trump struggles to complete sentences. He kind of mishmashes thoughts together and speaks in a very nonsensical way. So I want you to analyze what just went down today and at this disastrous press conference in front of the White House with that in mind. So here again, Donald Trump returns from that Pentagon event. He's at the White House and he's being asked questions by reporters like, "Hey, Donald, do you have any reaction to the Russian drones that invaded Poland, causing Poland to invoke Article 4 of NATO?" Donald Trump's like, "Can't understand, can't understand." Here, play this clip.
Can't understand.
Next, Donald Trump is asked about the dozens and dozens of people in the Congo, I think it's over 60, who have been killed by ISIS and forces relating to ISIS as a result of the ongoing war taking place there. Now, Donald Trump has previously claimed that he solved the war in Congo himself and has brought total peace to Congo, which of course is yet another lie by Donald Trump. Here, play this clip.
This week, Mr. President, I witnessed more than 60 people in DRC Congo were killed. There is people affiliated with ISIS. Terrorist groups are taking advantage because of the situation going on because of the war. So what is your word for Congolese people?
Well, we're going to be talking to them. As you know, we are talking to them. It's a very violent place. It's very, very violent. For a long time, it's been going on for 30 years, 35 years even, they say. But we're going to handle it.
Next, Donald Trump is asked about the criminal conviction of Jair Bolsonaro, the former president of Brazil, who engaged in an insurrection to try to topple the duly elected government in Brazil, the same way Donald Trump engaged in an insurrection to try to topple the United States government. Our Supreme Court was too weak to do the right thing and gave Trump immunity. The Brazil court convicted Jair Bolsonaro of insurrection, and Bolsonaro likely will have to spend the rest of his life in jail. Here's how Donald Trump responds to that. Play this clip.
Bolsonaro was just found guilty by the Supreme Court. You've been very clear that you would apply sanctions. Are you thinking further sanctions to Brazil because of this Bolsonaro?
Well, I watched that trial. I know him pretty well. Foreign leader. I thought he was a good president of Brazil. And it's very surprising that that could happen. That's very much like they tried to do with me, but they didn't get away with it at all. But I can only say this. I knew him as president of Brazil. He was a good man, and I don't see that happening.
Now, when Donald Trump finally understands the question being asked about the Russian drone strikes in Poland, Donald Trump just shows what utter weakness looks like and says, probably a mistake. I just think that could all have been a mistake. Here, play this clip.
What's your reaction to Russian drone incursion into Poland?
Could have been a mistake. Could have been a mistake. But regardless, I'm not happy about anything having to do with that whole situation. but hopefully it's going to come to an end.
Donald Trump addressing the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He once again blames it on leftists and Democrats, who Trump has basically previously called terrorists, and says we have a radical left group of lunatics, just absolute lunatics there. That's what Donald Trump is doing right now, trying to stoke the flames of division. Here, playing this clip.
Not really. I'm really concerned for our country. We have a great country. We have a radical left group of lunatics out there, just absolute lunatics, and we're going to get that problem solved. I'm only concerned for the country.
You know, I just think about how former President Obama and other presidents dealt with deadly shootings, targeted assassinations, things like that, trying to heal and bring the country together. Donald Trump trying to do the exact opposite right now. Of course, you've seen the photo by now of the suspect, this skinny, white-looking kid you see right here, wearing a American flag t-shirt, Land of the Free, Home of the Brave t-shirt right there. We'll get you more information as that develops. But here was Donald Trump at the 9/11 commemoration. You can see for yourself the condition he was in there. It's disturbing. Here, play this clip.
Hilda E. Taylor. Lieutenant Colonel Kip P. Taylor, United States Army. Leonard E. Taylor. Sandra C. Taylor. Sandra D. Teague.
Now, here's what Congresswoman AOC had to say about Donald Trump blaming Democrats and MAGA Republican Congress members blaming Democrats before we even knew the identity of who the shooter was. Here, play this clip.
The president, at his speech, he was very critical of left-wing violence. What do you think of that message, and do you agree with them that left-wing violence is a problem?
There is no understanding, as we know publicly, of who this individual is, what their motivations were, where they came from, whether it is a member of Congress, whether it is the President of the United States. To assume and assert and cast blame when the FBI has failed to even apprehend the assailant is absolutely an irresponsible action.
And this is something we saw MAGA Republicans do all day. For example, MAGA Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin said the following, play this clip.
They robbed a voice that spoke common sense because of their hatred to people that disagree with them, but yet they're the ones that try to champion free speech. But we're not the ones out there trying to silence them through violence. It's ridiculous. And I know, Sean, that I'm not the only one out there hurting, and I'm not the only one that's upset by this. But when is enough enough? When is the Democrats going to stand up and apologize for the hatred and the lies that they have fed their base that's led to these actions?
MAGA Republican Congress member Bob Under said the following, play this clip.
Well, what for us? Well, everything has changed. If we didn't know it already, there is no longer any middle ground. Some of the American left are undoubtedly well-meaning people, but their ideology is pure evil. They hate the good, the truth, and the beautiful, and embrace the evil, the false, and the ugly. And they literally will kill those with whom they disagree, just as their predecessor, leftists Marx and Stalin and Lenin and Pol Pot and Fidel Castro did. We must know that.
And that rhetoric is just so utterly, utterly dangerous and should never be in the discourse here in the United States. Finally, I'm going to do a whole other video on this, but I want to give a hat tip to Bloomberg. They got 18,000 emails of Jeffrey Epstein from Epstein's Yahoo account. Many of them reference, or not many of them, a few of them reference Donald Trump. They also show Epstein's deep connections with Ghislaine, far after Ghislaine said that she cut off her connections with Epstein, showing that it seems she may have committed perjury yet again during her meeting with the FBI, than she just did with Donald Trump's former criminal defense attorney, Todd Blanche, turned number 2 at the DOJ. Let me just show you right here. This is from our Legal AF channel on the Midas Touch Network. Michael Popak breaks down what was found in these emails. and how it could be devastating for Donald Trump. Let's watch it. This is from Maxwell to Jeffrey Epstein. You have to assume this is right around the time, right before he signed the non-prosecution agreement. You have to assume I assume that's the prosecutors, went to Donald Trump, then Gossman, the docks in West Palm Beach, Pashkow, etc. Let's talk through that. Abe Gossman is a healthcare magnate who owned a property that Trump bought for $41 million, but only after a heated bidding war with Epstein. That's the reason they no longer talked after 2007, 2008. And this proves that point, or at least demonstrates that that was an event, a transaction that even Epstein was concerned about. So they're afraid that the prosecutors went to Trump about that property, Gossman about that property, the docks in West Palm Beach. I don't think that refers to doctors. I think that refers to documents, which would have been recorded with the property assessor's office, the clerk's office, which sits in West Palm Beach. Having lived in West Palm Beach, I think that's the story. And Pashkow is another real estate person that is well known to Epstein and Trump, and he was also in the birthday book. He's the one that had the photo of Donald Trump along with Epstein selling a girl for $22,000. There you have it, folks. We'll keep you posted every step of the way here.